Can you see my screen okay here?
I can't. I
Okay.
am. I in these games.
Sorry, did you say I'm bad?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. That's fine. I was gonna say I don't recognize any of these names, but I only know I think
No.
two of your accounts. Okay.
Yeah. This one's around. No, this one's actually it's a little higher than the Lucio one.
Okay.
These games are like 41, 42
Sure.
ish area.
That's fine. Let's see what we can do.
3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Okay, so I mean that's a fair amount of time after your Harmony Orbs come back to have
Yeah.
not. I know you're looking probably for Tracer there, but you're not going to get that obviously just with how the pathing is. So
Hmm.
I'm a little surprised that we don't just put this back out on Diva.
There is chaos. Enemies in our orbit.
Good. I mean, how convinced are we that that ball's really going to leave? You have the Discord on it, but there's nothing resembling a like. There's nothing resembling a was this a double back anything. There's not even a peak as you're out here charging with two angles open on you. Okay, just making note.
Hmm.
It's a fair amount of time that you're in the open with that charge. So what I'm going to get into here is going to be a fair amount of this. This is the angle that you want with this right click, right?
Hmm.
Like this is ultimately where you're going to fire it. This is the angle you're looking for. And
Yeah.
you're just kind of on this angle the whole time that you're charging. And yeah, you've got a Sigma in front of you, you've got a barrier in front of you, but this stuff all sort of becomes, well, if you know that this is an angle that can potentially do some work in this direction, it by definition is also an angle that can do some work in this direction.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of like how hard is it to tuck behind here until you're at 4 orbs and then go, this is
Right.
a fixed angle. There's no aiming to be done. Like this is basically a fixed angle that you have to send it down. So I saw that here. I saw that here. Like that's like three
Yeah.
times we've seen it already. So I'm like this. I think you know better. I think it's a laziness thing, but we'll see. If it's a laziness thing,
Yeah.
it may have become a habit. So we need to may need to re-drill it out, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I do believe it is. Like I'm catching myself doing it every once in a while. I do think it is becoming a habit again because I have not been like when I was hard like just one tricking Zen because
Hmm.
that was meta. Like I've worked on all these things and not playing Zen for a while. I've
Yep.
fell back into those habits.
Yep. That'll do it. Similar thing. It's fine. You're spamming here. Mm-hmm. Just want to see what she did there. Okay. Kind of a lot of downtime that I'm just not really feeling you need here. Like, as we go through here, you're doing this, and that makes sense. You're getting low health, so you're going, hey, I want to drift out, recover some. You're doing this, and you go, hey, I want more cover. That's fine. But you've still got a good 12 shots here, and you decide to back up all the way out here as opposed to something a little more aggressive angle-wise. I mean, this is
Hmm.
like, there's an angle here, but you can take a more aggressive, a steeper angle. I'm not too worried about what's going to come through here because the hog's over here, right? The biggest threat to come
Yeah.
through here and pull you would be the hog. You don't care if the ball comes through here, and if the echo comes through here, like
Hmm.
again, none of those are going to one-shot you. You're going to be able to use the cover. So I'm looking at this and going, this is a little shallow of an angle, and I'm also
Hmm.
going, you're backing out here like you're still at the 68 health or whatever you were here. Like you're
Yeah.
at 184 health. You've got 12 shots. What are you doing back here?
Yeah.
And then going for this reload. Go ahead.
Question just like kind of towards this is I started pathing here because I was thinking to go high ground because that's kind of like
Got
default.
it.
I wanted an angle, but then I got kind of scared because they have a pocket echo. I don't know if that's still the right call. Should I still peek off of the high ground or at least off of the stairs to like test it to see if the echo is gonna That gives me a decent sight line. I can help my Pharah, I was thinking maybe, but then I was kind of just scared I
No,
was going to get
I'm
one
not
shot.
going to want you to go up here, and the reason for that is if you're up here and you're using this, all you can fight is the Rekko, right? Like, you'd really
Yeah.
you hit this situation where you can't do much. It's like, yeah, you can give out Harmony Orbs, maybe you can get a Discord orb out if they get onto the point, but the fight right now is happening more over here.
Right.
If you're up here, you just can't do enough, and if you transition deeper to deepen your angle to get a spot that you can, then the Echo can just, destroy you.
Okay.
Like you have no
Right.
reaction unless you get over to here, and you don't really want to get over to here yet. Like that your team
Okay.
doesn't have the control to justify that. So I actually do want you mostly playing right here, right now.
Okay.
Okay.
In the shadow of doubt.
Okay.
Experience tranquility.
I mean, I don't
Yeah, it was
really think you're
in
in this
hindsight.
anymore. Okay, got it.
No, yeah. In hindsight, terrible decision. We were calling winnable, and I was like, okay, winnable, let's go.
Got it.
So I hit my ult.
Sure.
Hindsight, pretty bad.
Oh no, oh no, and now we're, oh no. Well, at least they gave us High Noon back, but actually losing too many frames. Give me just a second to close a couple things here. Let's go like that, and that should help a little bit. Okay, sorry about that. All good.
Repetition is the path to mastery.
Mm. Okay. I wasn't at all worried about a threat from this direction. I was maybe worried about something from this direction, so I'm not sure what the check there was about.
Gaze into the iris.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Mercy. Rocket barrage incoming. Rocket barrage incoming.
Okay, both your orbs are gone. Both your orbs are still gone. There's the Discord out. It's a fair amount of no Harmony Orb when you had plenty of targets.
Claiming the objective. Elementary application.
Again, you're charging Insight there.
Walk in harmony.
Better.
Heroes never die. This is not Dein Schutzengel ist da. Helden sterben nicht.
Experience tranquility.
Really need to clean this situation. So we are here. Yeah, okay.
Experience tranquility. What is that melody?
Light routine activated.
Go back to target selection for a second there.
What is that melody?
Did they just take that down? They did. Okay. I think from a spatial awareness sense, we probably should have just been here with this. Echo's over there at the time. Okay. And this is what I was looking for, which is what I thought. If the
Yeah.
Echo was over here the whole time, and that's really where you wanted to just A, close this angle, and B, have your Discord on that for this.
Yeah. So I think I just I think I tunneled
Yep.
a little on the Mercy. I wanted to kill her real bad.
I get
Yeah.
it, but when they pop that Valk, I mean, yes, you can get
it's
them,
good
but
at first.
yeah.
This is just the Echo would have been a free cut.
Yep.
And then I just whiff.
You hear the hog, you can rotate away.
Chaos
Okay.
within you.
Okay, so yeah, that doesn't. I mean, they obviously you won. It wasn't super one-sided, so that's fine. So far, what we're seeing, the biggest thing is that you're getting lazy about your charges in the open. You have some of the stuff where it's like, hey, what is this? We had that little bit of downtime over there. We had a little bit of target selection, and then I'd say probably the second biggest thing behind your charging in the open is, let's make sure we're paying attention to whether our Harmony Orb is out, our pre-orbing, etc. But let's hop into the other game unless you have questions on this one that are jumping out at you.
No.
Okay.
That's mostly stuff that we've gone over before.
It is. It does tend to happen that way sometimes. I mean, they get
Yeah.
smaller and smaller improvements that we need to make.
Traveling to Mumbai. Ready for
Yeah,
battle.
I've been that kind of like it's kind of one of those games where I wasn't really again focused on like my harmony and the opening and closing. I was just trying to make sure I had Discord out as
Yep.
much as possible. Because like the game before that, I was really bad at it. Like I noticed myself not having Discord out on us. It was like kind of hard focus and just making
Good.
sure I'm hitting E every time I.
Yeah, no, and that's good, but sometimes it does mean things fall, so you sort of build them each up one at a time until they all stick. So, but your
So
Discords weren't a problem that game, other than the target selection that we
Yeah.
went into a bit there.
So I was actually gonna kind of ask, just like before this, like, is it kind of worth it in a scenario like this where they're running a Zarya? Like when I see a Zarya, should I always wait for the bubbles to be used before, or at least a bubble to be used before I throw nade, or is it worth it to throw nade to get both the bubbles if I can like land an anti on both tanks?
If
in
you
this
can
kinda
get two
scenario?
bubbles for a nade, that's fine. If you can get
Okay.
bubble plus something else for a nade, that's generally going to be fine. You don't have to go, I am holding until all the bubbles get used, because it's going to force ineffectiveness out of them where, hey, we're using this to clear this, and it's like, oh, cool, that's fine. Now our team is going to do work. Now you're more vulnerable to Flash. You're more vulnerable to the Doomfist. Like, you
Right.
don't want to just hoard your cooldown forever. If you can get value out of it, I mean, we run into that with all things. Like in the brawly meta that you see right now, you're not going, I'm holding Ice Wall until they don't have lamp. You're going, no, I'll happily Ice Wall to get the lamp, the amp, whatever.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Get it done.
Okay. It's kind of a long time to look away. Like the one shot into the Kree is good there, but if we just take a look
Yeah.
at how long that's pulling you away, it's like whether you that first shot hits him or not, you kind of need to be checking back on this because you know that their whole team is up there with your Winston. Fine. Reasonable. One shot too many on the Winston based on the danger levels, but that's fine. Again, he's fine. Let's check how they're doing. Yep.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Unfortunate.
Unstoppable.
Okay. There he is.
Just a scratch. You'll be fine.
I'm on fire! Everyone follows my ultimate.
That is
Almost ready. My ultimate is almost ready.
Scary.
My ultimate is ready.
Scary.
I have your back.
Draw. Draw.
Okay, I'm not sure what you're up to there, but here you see these, and you're gonna go for the easy nade.
The pain is coming.
I don't think so.
The pain is coming.
I mean, I unfortunately feel like Zarya is sort of your worst shot target there. Like, yes, the Zarya is purple, but the McCree with the Discord there is going to just remove him from the fight. Like, he's going to be unhappy until his Ana gets to him, which I get that his Ana is right there. But that's going to protect, like, you shooting the McCree forces that McCree back, which lets you stay here longer, which is going to do the most work. And I mean, your Winston was still okay. Again, that McCree is way more interesting to us than this Rhine. Good.
Fire at will. I will keep you healed. Agon.
It's fine. Again, nade. Yep.
Get healed. I'm on fire. It's just a scratch. You'll
I
be
mean, this is... I'm getting super nitpicky here, but you know that there's going to be travel time, and you know that you're in no danger, because the only thing that could have been beating up your Winston was the Doomfist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Yeah.
you should be pre-scoped here, because you're either going to have to spend time scoping, or you're going to have to hip fire, which has travel time. So, like, in case the Doomfist is chasing him and is about to do that last 30 damage with, you know, little fist pumps to your Winston, you should already be zoomed right now.
Okay.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine. You're going to be okay.
See that which is unseen.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine. You're powered up. Get in there.
Called play?
Yeah, we said we were gonna dragon, and our monkey said he was gonna go, and we dragoned a little earlier than, or like our monkey didn't call the dragon, but he just said when we dragon, I'm gonna go hard. So
Okay.
I gave him the nano.
Okay.
Feeling powerful.
You're going to be okay.
Hi.
60 seconds remaining.
Hi.
Okay, so was this just an accident that you fell? Like, if you wanted to join them,
Oh,
you'd have
yeah,
dropped
I
you.
didn't-
Okay.
No,
Okay,
I didn't
got
mean
it.
to walk off.
Got it.
Hi.
I was like, are you wanting to swap sides on high ground? What is going on here? But
No, yeah, I
that's
wasn't.
fine.
I just forgot about the curve.
You're feeding your son trans, okay?
My ultimate is charging.
Feeling powerful. But even angry.
30 seconds remaining.
It's gotta be over, yeah.
You're going to be okay.
Unfortunate. It's
Lights
fine.
out. It's just a scratch. You'll be fine. It's just
I'm
a
slowing this
scratch,
down,
you'll be
obviously, which
fine.
isn't fair. But she kind of stayed tracking on that monkey that was purple for a fair amount of time there. When again, there's that super juicy McCree right there.
Yeah, he has a Discord on too. I one shot him.
Yep.
ده هيكون مؤلم.
10 seconds remaining.
Get back in the fight.
Enemies coming right for fire.
Do you feel sometimes I
Complete.
default to healing too often? My damage / heal stats are always like more towards
Yep.
the healing than it should be.
Yep.
I find.
You are a little too ticked on the healing. I noticed that where you're not like super early on trying to convert back to healing, for example, when there's enemy nades out there, but you do give up some pretty juicy stuff in favor of healing people that are at like 60-70% in a bubble when it's
Mhm.
like, hey, there's a discorded. I mean, there was a couple times where there was a discorded McCree
Yeah,
right there, and I noticed that a couple times where it's like you can be the difference maker with healing is fine, but you can definitely be the difference maker with the offensive shot a little more often than you are.
I think that's probably one of the bigger things keeping me in my rank. So that I don't. I look to make plays with my nade when I can. It's just not necessarily with my damage.
So that's true, and the other thing is you were really holding on to your sleep dart there, which most players I'd say, hey, yes, hold on to your sleep dart, there's a Doomfist on it, but the truth is you're at the level where you need to actively be tracking the Doomfist more and going, the Doomfist
Okay.
is on the other side of the map, I'm going to use my sleep dart to make plays too, because
Right.
no one else on that team can push you. So it
Yeah.
becomes more of you can't just do the easy mode, which is I'll hold one cooldown for the divers because there's one diver on their team. You've got to level it up to the where is the Doomfist? Let me be more conscious, etc.
Mhm.
Is the other direction of this reasonable?
I don't really remember. I think it's like decent. I'm pretty sure I made a couple mistakes in terms of like where I'm pushing and how I'm pushing.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll make it
Stick
work.
to the plan.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
You're going to be
Can't decide
okay.
where you want to go. Okay.
Greetings.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You're going to be okay. Go. I could be you. The pain. Get back in the fight. You're powered up. Get in there.
Fine.
وريهم قوتك.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different game. Yeah, no, that looks like it's gonna be over pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not super worried, but I'm looking at this. So you hit the one shot there, and then you zoom out. Are you worried that someone else is in trouble right now?
Yeah, I was looking because I thought my like the person on the ground, I thought they were going in really hard, and I couldn't the Lucio.
Oh.
I couldn't tell if he was gonna take a ton of damage, so I unscoped to just make sure
Got
he
it.
wasn't gonna
Okay.
get insta popped.
Okay. Because I just had no indication that anyone in the ground was remotely in trouble, so that's why I'm going.
Yeah.
Like I checking between people is fine, but I was surprised that you were losing the uptime on your Winston, given that you knew you had your full health McCree. You have a pretty good surround setup, and to me it looks like Lucio is fine. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it might have just been. I think it was just an awareness thing, thinking that our Lucio or their monkey was about to push, not realizing that he died as fast as he did.
Sure, sure.
Never mind, it wasn't as good of a.
Yeah, all good, all good. It happens. I mean, the defense gave us something. They were very close to the cap there. Okay, so, you know, it's going to be a little tough to get super into your Ana here. I think we did sort of cover what is the realities of the situation, which is you do have more room to use your sleep dart because this Doomfist was not coming in on you very often, and you just need to realize, okay, well, if I'm going to push it, I need to be going, the Doomfist is at least 6 seconds away from me, he's at least 7 seconds away from me, I'm comfortable using my sleep dart. Or you can get a little more into a rotation where it's like, I'm using my nade as my primary offensive ability. No, I'm using whatever's there as my offensive ability, and when I get within like 2 seconds, 3 seconds of the other cooldown coming back, I'm willing to use the other one, and if I don't see a good one in those 2 to 3 seconds, I go back to using the nade, if the nade is your preferred offensive ability. Like, you got to get into a little bit of a cycle like that, because that's how we're going to eke more value out of your Ana. Same thing with the offensive shots, where it becomes okay, we've got room to go to take some more of these offensive shots, specifically when we see the Discords and specifically when we see the 200 HP heroes. Like, the purple Zarya, yeah, that's fine to shoot at, especially when she's half health, but you're really looking more to go, how can I make you guys leave? How can I get you off your angles? And remember, the McCree gets a lot more uncomfortable by being shot once or twice by you than the Zarya does. Like, a lot more uncomfortable. And same thing with the Hanzo, with any of that. So that's kind of the Ana. We talked a bit about the Zen too, where it's okay, there's not a ton that we can do, you know, where it's hey, you have some habits, you've fallen out of them. What we're going to really get into here is, remember, if there's an offensive angle, we charge it behind, and then we peek. And that's especially true when we're trying to send it through a known narrow choke. Like, we're hitting a cute little spot, that cute little spot is always in the same place. There's no, like, let me do this last second aim adjustment on where the enemies are, because there's only one narrow thing that you can shoot through. The pre-orb placement on your Harmony Orb and some of your remembering to move it type stuff we hit on, and then just, you know, again, we had the why are you reloading, what's your uptime, etc. But I'm not worried about that. So I don't have a ton more here to cover. If you don't have more games, that's fine. I'd say what we should probably do is we'll just convert this, where I'll say, you know, we can go into another game if you like, or we can convert this and you can send me a game between now and your next session, and I'll just do like a 20-30 minute coverage of that game, and I'll, you know, record it and send it to you. I don't want to schedule a session unless you have more you want to go over now.
I was just finding
a
replay. I have another one on Numbani that's like a bit longer. It's a full 3 push attack. It's a full hold on defense. It's not a roll on attack either. It's let me just double check the timing. I just want to make sure it's not like gonna be not worth the time. Oh, it is kind of. We cap with 316 on point 3.
Okay, and you full hold them on defense. I mean, we can go through the attack because we're here, we're doing it. Are you playing Ana, Zen? What are you playing?
Yeah, I'm playing Ana again.
Okay. I bet we can get something out of it. I'm not claiming it's going to be great, but let's take a look.
No, I'm sure there's going to be something, though. It's just, my whole thing right now is I'm just trying to be as consistent as possible.
Yep.
Because, most of my accounts are very similar in terms of MMR, even if they're not the same SR, so I'm playing in the same kind of games. And almost everything. It's just like, you know, there's days where I'll lose 6 games, and then days where I'll win 10.
Sure.
In a row, like, yeah.
Sure. Okay, let's here.
Ready for battle.
It's only a game. What do you have?
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Ready for battle.
I've still got it.
Let's see. I played too much today. I had a really good Lucio game where I'd been working on a lot of the stuff we talked about. It was just
nice.
buried.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'll try to get another one.
Yep.
I've still got it.
Taking the point. The objective is mine.
fine. You've got this here. What are you backing away from here?
No clue. I don't know why I backed up.
Yeah, I'm looking. You're at
Maybe-
182 health. You had 2 bubbled tanks in front of you. Like, I'm just looking. Like, let's do a check over there. Is there anything over here? No. Okay. Well, let's change our angle and find this. This is just sort of dead time.
Yeah, I don't actually know why I backed up because we did clear that angle on the left there. I just kind of whiffed on the loose.
You're covered. You're covered.
I'm just not sure I care about your Tracer this much. So here you are.
You're covered.
You know that you haven't fully cleared this and that threats can come back out
Yeah.
of here. So this is kind of a long time to be like, hey, Tracer, I really care about your life. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no, I don't.
The objective. Rally to my position.
Yeah, like, again, this junk should never have been able to hit you with a mine because you just get to keep him more honest than that with your weapon play, and then him hitting you with the mine makes you uncomfortable enough that you drop, and he's almost taking back space. He's not going to because it's 6v4 at this point, but like that didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Objective A captured.
Get back.
Escort the payload.
Escorting the payload. I've seen worse. We're going to live.
I've still got it.
Enemy coming on board.
I've still got it.
Securing the payload. أنا هاخد بالي منه. The pain is
Still got it.
I have your back.
Anyone need some healing?
You tried.
Yeah, I thought it was coming from top.
Yeah. Sorry, you thought it was coming from where?
I thought he was still above with the diva.
Oh, got it. Got it. Well, if you thought he was above,
My
Okay.
crosshair should be up more. but,
Yeah.
I was kind of like trying to put it in a position where it's like, okay, if it comes from top, I'll
You're
get
splitting
to it. If
the
it comes from bottom,
difference.
maybe
you're
I'll
splitting
get
the
to it.
difference, but leaning top because that's where you thought it was. Okay. Yeah.
This is not your time.
Okay, but why? So we're here. We get rezzed.
Got it.
Okay, game load. I mean, I see that echo up there, and your team is totally fine. You
Yeah.
do one, and then you're gonna pivot back to the echo? No, you
I
just
don't
like.
think I can do.
Okay, yikes.
Heroes never
You're
die.
powered up. Get in there.
Okay.
Winston.
Still got it.
No.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay. I don't love that reload because I wasn't convinced that Winston wasn't still gonna chase you, but okay.
You won't regret.
The payload has reached the check.
Watching your back.
My ultimate is ready. Let's
You hear her?
fire at will.
You hands off the keyboard?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
going like you.
that was one of
Go ahead.
Yeah, that was one of those situations where I thought I was safe, and I just kind of I took a second to grab a drink of water,
That's exactly what I was expecting.
You're not getting rid of me back.
trying not to drop it all over my keyboard.
Yep.
Kind of just took the L.
Go. I'll keep you here. This will help.
Okay. So this is probably one of those
Go.
examples where you're
I'll
like,
keep
I
you
really
here.
want my Winston. I really want to heal my Winston. Okay, that's cool, but this is clearly a push. And do you want the Winston more than you want, the sleep dart on
To
this?
sleep, but
Right. More than you want the shot on this? So, yeah.
This will help. It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
Okay.
It's quiet.
The payload is approaching its destination. The payload is approaching
Okay.
its destination.
That soldier has a mercy pocket. Soldier still has a mercy pocket. Went critical, we'll pretend. So you're going to hit that shot. And then if there's stickies, you might think about hitting another shot. Are there stickies? Yeah, there's stickies. You hit another shot. Okay, fine.
Come here, I'll get stabilized. I've still got it. You can't let the pain just sit there.
Okay.
I have your back. You're powered up. Get in there. I have your back. You're powered up. Get in there.
Yeah, okay.
Heroes never die.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Winston.
Just the reason is just he said he was high charge and he was close grab, so
Yeah, no,
why not?
that was my take as well. When he's sort of backing up right now, and so is your Winston, but with the nano, you can definitely push back in to the rally, and he was high charge, so that's why I'm in agreement there, even if it's a close thing. Almost. That was mostly driven fine, but let me just take a quick look. This is fine. You hit the shots that you need to on the tracer. The mercy is glued to you. That's the recall. And Zarya just doesn't care about you, and neither does Winston. Oh, well, that's nice. At least Mercy does.
Not anymore though.
This is, little
Yeah, these are-
yikes.
It is. This is big yikes. This account is like fresh, right? So I mean, the MMR is like meh.
Okay.
This was probably like a very low 4K to like 30.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
probably very low 4K.
It's fine. I'm just like, you shouldn't be in this much danger. Like, yes, you could have moved closer to point in theory, but like, you shouldn't be in this much danger right now. Oh well.
Hoping for a bubble or something.
التكرار يعلم الشطار.
Let's keep this moving.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I was gonna actually ask, in like,
Sure.
kind of, what scenarios and like, I guess in a game like this, is it like, cause, yeah, what scenarios is it okay for me to start pressuring off? Like when I know Tracer isn't a threat, cause like no recall or like she's on the other side of the map.
Mhm.
Like, is it? How is it? Like, it's kind of like how I don't know how to describe it because I don't want to say is it viable because like obviously like if I can do enough work on an off angle, it's gonna be
Yes.
viable.
Yes, it's
So,
viable. But go ahead.
should I be looking to take kind of like more aggressive angles like I would on a BAP? Like on BAP in this kind of scenario, if I was
Mhm.
pushing this, I would have just like walked through the mini room on the left and just started trying to DPS down someone in their back line. Like I would have just peeked this quickly to see if I get a quick kill or like some impact damage. And I would have rotated out, or I would have swung around on the stairs or something on like even farther left.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously off angles help when you're on Ana. Like that's how you get the easier nades. It can get you some easier sleep darts. It lets you get some more offensive shots. But it is kind of a royal pain to then if you go up here when your team is back here, for example, it is a pain to go, okay, let me get back to my team. Your nade is not as good a self bailout as I mean Bap's both of his cooldowns work to bail him out pretty darn well. Ana's do too to a degree. But you put out less damage pressure, unfortunately, as Ana than you do as BAP. That's just reality. And you take away your ability to heal just as much or more than BAP does by taking an off angle up here
Yeah.
when your team is like back here. So like if you're saying, hey, you know, my team is here and I'm taking an off angle. I'm taking an off angle here, whatever. When your team is here, sure, of course that's powerful. But like if it's an off angle that actually does take away your ability to heal most of your core, less good. Now, you know, if you go, hey, my Winston is jumping in, and I'm just gonna wait for a second until my Winston goes in and then go do it. Sure. But it creates situations where your Winston has to jump in. Like if you go here and they find you, your Winston has to jump in type stuff. So the answer is yes. You can always get like if you can get enough work done, as you know, the answer is yes. But it takes more work to reach that threshold on Ana if you're blocking your own team, which I think is what you're talking about here. If you're just doing something like this when your team's here, okay, it's an off angle and it's good and it will make your job easier, but you know that you knew that.
Yeah, no, sorry, I think I worded that really bad.
Okay.
I did word that really poorly. More like in what stage of the fight do I want to look to take those off? Like, am I looking to take those off angles mid fight? Should I be looking to take them in the early fight for like an early pick? Like maybe I gotta like hit a sleep or something. Or
Got
is
it.
just better to wait for kind of that
So,
mid fight where they're maybe not looking at me as much. and the cooldown's
Generally,
gone.
the conservative way is you deepen your off angle as the fight goes on. So you go, hey, the fight is going on, and now I can deepen my off angle. Or the fight is here, and you know I'm going to take a second as the fight is going on. We're okay to deepen my off angle through here. That's the conservative, safe answer. Where you go, hey, I'm doing it like this, and especially as we put a little pressure on them, we deepen our angle to do work. Now, you can go, hey, I'm going to open a fight and try to do something aggressive. But the problem you run into is if you open the fight with something aggressive like this, the most aggressive thing you can do on Ana is spend one of your abilities. And then you're up here sort of alone without one of your abilities. Like, so you, again, BAP is different where BAP can go, hey, I'm going to click my button 3 times and you're gone. And I can get through that a little faster than an Ana can. So it sort of becomes yes, there's definitely times like if you hit a big nade here, your Winston jumps in, great, you know, that was absolutely huge. But generally it's going to be a case of, hey, I'm willing to do this and I'm willing to rotate up as the fight goes on. I'm going to deepen my angle as the fight goes on, and us winning a little bit in the trade is an excuse for me to deepen the angle, which is further winning of the fight. That's going to be my answer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, no problem. Any other general questions?
No.
Okay. Is this
Initiate.
cool?
Ready for battle.
I'll be catching you up, as usual.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I've still got it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
I could use some assistance.
Enemy contact.
Damage increase.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
I've still got it. See through the dragon's eyes.
This is going to hurt.
It's fine.
This is going to hurt.
This is a little more. I mean, yeah, okay, you're on the Ana.
Watching your back. The pain. The pain is coming.
Okay. So this is, again, we're getting into one of these situations just because I should illustrate
Watching
this
your
a
back.
little bit better.
The pain is
Okay. So again, this is one of those situations where you're going, hey, I know where the Winston is, I know where the Tracer is, I can think about whether I want to use my sleep dart in the next 2 to 3 seconds.
I've still got it.
Under attack.
Greetings.
I've still got it. I've still
Being enhanced.
Greetings.
I've still got it.
Kind of slow.
I've still
Go for that, which is fine. The follow-up shot probably isn't the right answer because again, your mercy is going to go to your this. So you throw this, and I'm good with this nade, but I also see that your mercy is tethered on the soldier there, and I'm kind of looking at this and going, that soldier's going to very quickly be healed up, so I'd rather you be back on this echo at this
Take your
point.
medicine.
Now the echo's in the bubble, so it doesn't matter, but
still got it.
You're powered up.
I'm just
Get
gonna
in
go
there.
for that. That's fine.
I've still got it.
Powerful, and I'm not even angry.
Watching your back.
Very rough. Very heal up here. Protected.
Take cover.
How do you generally feel about your sleeps on primals?
I'd say like it depends on the day. Like but generally I hit them for the
Okay.
most part. There's sometimes where I think on this day I was just kind of whiff city with my
I
sleeps.
noticed
Just,
that. Well, I mean, not necessarily on your sleeps. I noticed at the beginning of this round, your accuracy had fallen off a little from what we'd seen, and but okay. So a little whiff city today. That's fine.
I feel like normally I would hit that, but I
Yeah.
just
Yeah. I mean, we can go over technique to hit them in terms of their landing pattern, etc. But
mhm.
that's why I wanted to check before we spent time on it.
Zarya.
Mm,
Zarya. I'll make quick work of them.
yeah. Okay. You're definitively in it.
Fire at will.
Tactical visor activated.
You're going to be okay.
Okay.
You're going to be okay.
Good idea.
Just a scratch. You'll be fine. Nap time. Nap time.
Okay, so you're down to 60 health here. You got your mercy pocket. You take the bash. Is your Winston really in any danger?
Not really.
So again, this is a defend yourself shot. The take care of yourself, secure your own oxygen mask before helping others type thing. But hey,
Go. I'll keep you here.
you were of course weren't actually going to go down because again, she literally can't take you down through the mercy. But
30 seconds remaining.
They're almost out of time. We'll stop them here and now.
I've still got it.
أنا هاخد بالي منه.
Hello there.
The pain is coming.
10 seconds.
Let the dragon consume
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay.
I will keep you here.
Heroes never die.
I will keep you here.
I've still got it.
Okay. I don't think there was a shot there, but maybe
I
I'm
will
wrong.
keep you here.
Yeah, there's no shot over there. I don't care that the tracer's on your Hanzo. Your Hanzo's fine, and that Ana up there is juicy.
Heroes never die.
Okay, so nothing too wild there. I think we knew there wouldn't be anything too wild in your defense here, but I thought we'd finish it out because it was here. It was a game that we could review, etc.
You're powered
So
up.
I
Get in
think
there.
again, your biggest takeaways are going to be do look a little harder for those offensive shots on Ana. Do think a little bit more about, okay, do I have room to use my second ability for offense? You obviously did some of that when you were in cleanup phase in this fight, and that's good. But even when there's things you're worried about, you can get a little more into, can I leave myself vulnerable for 2 seconds if I know where the flankers are, for 3 seconds
Right.
if I know where the flankers are? And the answer is yes. And you'll notice that's how you pump out more value as you try to go, I need to force more value out of this hero. That's how you get it at a reasonable trade-off without increasing uptime by going back to spawn. And then we talked about your Zen plenty. So if you have questions, I'm happy to get into them, but I think we've pretty much covered what made sense to cover here today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have just a more general question about my Ana. Like I kind of the way I learned to play Ana is I watched a lot of ML7. Do you think I play too much on my scope? Because I know he has a very unique way of playing Ana, and he plays in his scope like a lot, and he's very flicky.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just wondering if you think I tunnel, like I scope in too often. So I find myself hard scoping quite often. Like I've been trying to break the habit. It's just I'm not as confident in my ability to consistently hit my unscope.
Good question. Maybe a little, but it's not really showing up on this map because the reality is your travel time on this for your darts is such that it takes as long to scope as it does the darts to travel. So most of where this is happening is in the range where scoping makes more sense because you get the more precise shot for the distance it needs to travel. I would need to see you playing Ana on a place where Ana has a little less space to work with, and I'd probably need to pay attention to it a little bit more, to be perfectly honest, because yes, I wasn't bothered by it, but it's certainly possible that there was a little bit room there for some more hip shots, for where hip shots would have been favorable.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's kind of all I had. I appreciate it. I guess the whole like making sure I'm flicking off to do more damage is quite helpful because I've always kind of thought of it as like I'm healing or I'm doing damage. I never really thought that about just doing both at the same time.
Yeah.
Kind of like you would on a map or something. But,
yeah, no, you absolutely can be weaving where it's like, oh, I hit this heal onto my Hanzo, I hit this shot onto their Echo, I hit 2 shots into my Monkey, I hit another shot into their Mercy. Like, that's absolutely real. Yep. Okay.